For the butter churn, you're going to be making 2 pairs of these coloured blocks, the Churn Dash style blocks, and then sewing them together. And then for one set of them, you're going to add the rectangles onto the outside. You can cut your half square triangles in one of 2 ways, and I'm going to show you how to do both ways. One is to cut 2 squares, 3 1/4 inches, and you'll get 2 sets of half square triangles from those. The other method is to use the triangle ruler, the 45-degree triangle ruler. And then if you're going to do that, you're going to cut from a strip. So this is a 2.5 inch strip. You put your 2.5 inch line on the bottom and cut like that. And you're going to need 4 half square triangles. So you just rotate your ruler around. There's 2. 3. And this should just about give us the 4th one. And then for the other half of these, we're just going to use this fabric and cut 4 from this one. Now, if you're making 2 blocks at once, you'll be cutting 8 of each. And then once those triangles are cut, you just put 2 of them together, line them up, and your seam is going to go through from this point here through to this point here. So it's where the 2 fabrics meet. And that will give you your 2.5 inch square, half square made up of 2 half square triangles, and you shouldn't have to do any trimming. So now I've got my square ready. I've put my background square and my feature square right sides together. I'm going to draw a line from corner to corner on the diagonal. Get right through the corner. That's going to end up being my cutting line, and then I need a line 1/4 inch either side for the sewing line. So I'm putting my 1/4 inch line from my ruler on my cutting line and drawing that sewing line. Then turn this around, put the 1/4 inch on the cutting line and draw my sewing line. So for each of these pairs, I'm going to sew on these 2 lines first of all, and I often just sew slightly inside of them to give myself a little bit of extra trimming room, and then I'll be cutting on this line and then opening out and trimming. So I'm going to go and sew those next. And when you've sewn these half square triangles together, you're then going to trim them down to 2.5 inches. So I'm going to put my ruler on with this line on the seam and check that I have my 2.5 inches in here, which is great, perfect. I've got plenty of room. I'm going to cut on 2 sides and then take this corner and bring it right round, put the ruler back on, put the 2.5 inch line on the edge of the fabric here and here. I've got plenty of room on here, and trim. And then once all of those are done, I can then put them together with the other squares. And now all my units are made, I can start assembling the block. It's going to be made in 2 sections first, so I'm going to get these green ones and the orange squares, and just build them up in rows. So we'll sew this seam and press towards the orange. The next row is the orange, then the green square, and then orange, and we'll press towards orange again. And then the last row is done like that and press towards the orange. And then once you've done the rows, you then sew these seams to join those together. We'll do the same one with the purple. The purple will go like this. And the blue in between. And that will make our Churn Dash blocks. And now I've got my block in rows, I just need to join those rows together. Now I've sewn the blocks, and so once you've made 2 sets like this, both of them we're going to join together here, and then we'll put one set aside, and then the other set we're going to join the 2 side rectangles.